any question that you have related to anything that came up today, anything that we discussed today related to your reinvention, or anything to do with the program. Completely open to any and all questions. The floor is open. Please go ahead and raise your hand and let us know if you have a question. Ooh, Sarah, did you just enroll? Yay! Woo! Amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Warm welcome. Can't wait to see you inside of the program. All right, so we're now down to 8 spots. 8 spots for your one-on-one with me. All right, questions. Why are there no questions? Come on, ladies, don't be shy. Ayodhya, to your question of can we go through this transformational journey alone? Of course you can. Of course you can. I will never say no. I will never say you cannot. But it is an uphill, at least for me. At least for me, I found when I was for years and years and years, when I was trying to figure it out by myself, I wasn't getting the answers. And the moment I actually actively started seeking support from avenues, from taking courses, learning, and really learning from the best of what does it take for any one of us, to see ourselves more clearly, to get clear on our goals, to take those action steps forward. Over the years, I myself I've really continued to invest time and again. To this day, I continue to learn. I continue to learn and invest in myself because, yes, we can do it alone, but it takes a long time. And I think my question for any one of you, what's more precious? And I say this because the same question was posed to me one time. You can either way, this journey is going to cost you something. It's either going to cost you time. So maybe it takes you another 5 years, 6 years to figure it out. So either it will cost you in time if you're doing it by yourself, or you accelerate that journey by really diving deep into your journey today, taking those 4 months, make that commitment to yourself, not to anyone else, to yourself, and accelerate that journey for yourself. So either way, yes, it is going to cost us something. Question is, which investment are you willing to make? The investment of time or resources that could potentially accelerate your journey. Is looking for an abundant universe same as practicing gratitude in some way? That's a good question. It's see, gratitude can encompass anything that you're grateful for, and it could be, you could even express gratitude, for example, for yourself. So I'm so grateful to myself for showing up in the way I did today. I'm so thankful. And you could express gratitude for things that you have actively done or things that are just happening to you. The exercise that I specifically shared when I was asked to look for abundance, it was actually looking for things that are maybe perhaps wonders in the universe that maybe you didn't even have a say in. How serendipitously things just happen, things just appear when you're looking for help. This person comes into your life and says, hey, have you tried this? Or you're randomly scrolling and you see exactly the thing you were looking for. So my exercise that was given to me was about just looking out, like what are all the ways in which the universe is surprising you and giving you these delightful forms of help and support. And unless we are intentionally looking for them, we miss it. We just kind of think like, oh, okay, just going through the motions, all right. We don't we may not stop to notice that, wow, this was something amazing, this was something powerful, this was exactly what I was looking for. And the universe created it for me. So it can be the same, but there in some powerful ways it's also different. All right, Kajal, you raise your hand, go for it.
One second, Bhavna, I'll ask her to unmute. Meanwhile, we have two more questions. Navya is asking, I have 5.5 years of experience.
Uh-huh.
Will I have to wait until I have 8 years?
No, it's the sweet spot for us has been women who have definitely a few years of experience, because then you can draw upon your experience to for the kinds of conversations and discussions and learnings that are going to come forth over the course of the journey. But this year in particular, we've just said, let's open it up. Let's open it up. We get so many young women writing to us saying, because up until last year we were pretty strict, saying no, only let's only if you're mid-career come to us. But so many women have written to us saying, but I want to be part of this. Why can I not be a part of this? Don't hold my age against me or my years of experience against me. So this year more than others, we're saying, doesn't matter if you are committed to this, you want this, you think it can help you, our doors are open, just come on over. So yes, this year more than others, we are completely open and flexible to supporting everyone along different stages.
Kajal, you can
Okay.
ask your
Can
question.
you?
Yeah.
Sure. Bhavna, can you hear me?
Yes.
So, Bhavna, my question is, like you mentioned, all of us have been constantly dabbling between various coaches and mentors and all of that, right? So
Yes.
currently, immediately what comes to my mind while I was going through your coach, so it's natural for all the other coaches and what they taught also to come in your mind, and, for us to do this comparison, right?
Yes.
So, I was just thinking this whole thing about dreaming, thoughts, feelings, and then action is like a common thing that most coaches of a certain level or a little higher level, like yourself and the others that I have attended, speak about, because possibly this is a universal truth, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay. And then, even in NLP, and this I just signed up for something which is a short program and then makes me take a higher program. They talk about the same thing, that your belief is the filter through which you kind of your brain processes stuff, and you accordingly your beliefs frame your future. So I'm like a little confused that how do you decide which one to sign up? How do you know that this one? Because after doing all of this also, I still okay, I won't say it hasn't made a difference. I do feel liberated in some ways. I mean, my family and my spouse, for one, do say that you're much nicer to speak to. Your conversations have become a clearer. You look nicer. So those changes have happened. So I'm not going to say that it hasn't made a difference.
Yeah.
But I'm just really thinking, how is it? Okay, and okay, now to tell you why I'm tempted to go ahead with your journey, with your program, is because I mentioned yesterday as well, I'm an environmentalist, okay? And my
Yes.
environmentalist angle of me never came out anywhere, okay? And it's the first time that I'm seeing someone actually talking about it. And I'm also a pranic healer. So, that whole ethical compassion bit to be integrated in like a financial career bit, and is very holistic for me in the true sense.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
I think that is one thing that you bring differently to the table. But my
Yes.
mind is telling me that, Kajal, you're just getting into this consumer rut, like you're just subscribing, not doing anything. And the fact is that that you don't know money management, you don't know business organization will always be a void, right?
Mm.
So are you just being stupid investing time into this and not making the right choice? So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you, Kajal. Thank you for asking that. So look, absolutely. I think the fundamentals when it comes to what really helps about meaningful and sustainable transformation for any of us, there are a few key principles. And yes, you can get those from various sources. So I'm not going to sit here and say you cannot learn from other sources as well. Of course you can. There's so many. I love that. For example, you've done pranic healing. I mean, that's beautiful, that's powerful. There's so many sources of learning out there. I think for us, as I mentioned, I think what makes us what we are is we do take a very, very holistic approach. In that, as I mentioned, it's not just about coming in and focusing on the mindset piece of your beliefs and how you look at yourself. That is a very, very strong foundation. But we're also equally focused on you taking action. And that's exactly what I just heard you say, that Kajal, are you just taking courses after courses and not actually doing the work? For us, helping women actually do the work is a successful objective of this course or this program and this journey. We want you to take action. It's not just about coming to the sessions and learning a little bit and feeling good about the learning, but then feeling like, oh, but I'm not applying this, because that's not the learner remorse is not what we're here to encourage. We are about action through the group coaching, through the mentoring, through all of the compassion project, again, which is so action oriented. That's the biggest piece of this journey, where you commit to taking action on something that is important to you, something maybe that you've been procrastinating on, for whatever reason you've been procrastinating on building a certain set of skills or executing on those skills. You design that initiative, that action project of your choice, and then you take action within those 4 months. So by the end of the journey, no one can say, hey, yeah, I took this, but it was passive, I didn't really do much, I learned a few things here and there, but I didn't do much. Nobody, at least, is going to say that. So that's, I think, in my point of view, that's what this program would offer, that action orientation as well. So at the end of it, you get a true feeling, not just of that inner transformation, but of also making measurable progress towards your life, your career, whatever goal is important to you.
Okay, so the other question that I had, and I was hesitating to ask on a public platform, but I think I'll go for it. Was that in pranic healing, it's all about operating from the being, okay, and that is from the soul. So, and I have always, since I do practice healing and in psychotherapy, I get a lot of women cases and I'm good at coaching women. So I was planning to integrate women with this being and consciousness and ecology aspect. Okay. So, I mean, it's strange, but I did register a company which sounds like Shinomics, but it's Soulnomics. Okay. So somewhere I am feeling worried that if I attend your course, I'm going to get so influenced by you that I'm going to land up creating something which is very similar, and then it shouldn't look or feel unethical to just feel, not to anyone, no, just feel unethical. So I don't know where this is coming from. It's not something which is coming from a space of not a nice space. It's just that there's so much common that I've seen. In fact, I don't know if you recall your emails also. When I read, it touches me and I write to you, wow, what an email, Bhavna. I don't write that to anyone because all emails are so boring and so I mean, it's not good enough, right? So now, do you think what I'm thinking I should think?
So what I would say, Kajal, is of course you take a decision. This is entirely your decision. From my perspective, what I would say is we're all individual, we're all unique beings, and the way in which we offer help and offer support is also going to be our unique individual expression in the world. There are hundreds and thousands of coaches and healers and practitioners in the world. I would never discourage, let's say a new coach who says, but there are already other, just taking an example, saying, oh, but there are already other coaches who, let's say, focusing on coaching women and coaching women around mindfulness. There's room, and again, going back to the spirit of abundance, there is room and space in this universe for everyone, everyone. Even if on the surface it might look like there are a lot of similarities, that's okay. That's okay. There may be, for example, there may be hundreds of Italian restaurants in your city. Should a new one not come up because there are already another 100 restaurants? No, of course, another, because you don't know that 101st restaurant may appeal to a completely different set of customers in a completely different way, because it will bring its own uniqueness and its own individual expression. So I mean, that would be my 2 cents. That I think everyone can express themselves in their own unique way. So we live in an abundant universe, so I wouldn't worry about that. But of course, Kajal, it's completely your decision.
So I'm glad actually now that I asked this question, because I think I love the way you answered it. And yeah, I think, all of us do bring our individuality, and that no one can take away, right? I mean, all of us are made in a different mold. So I think that's perfect. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to ask. I'm just kind of trying to recall if there was anything else, the business bit. Okay, yeah, I think it was this one. So see, a lot of stuff, like I said, I have understood a bit till the mindset thing, and when it comes to being a courageous person or a speaker, I think I'm pretty much okay with that as well, because of my environmental work and because of the nature of cases I've taken up. I've had to speak in very large platforms with influential people, and to crowds, and motivate them for protests and all of that, right? And I've been very courageous putting myself out there against the government. So I'm just thinking, do you like also have an advanced course that I can join? Because a lot of it was like, for me, I was listening, I was loving it, but I was like, okay, I want more. I want deeper stuff. I want more stuff. You get it? I
That's because, I mean, for the purposes of these 2 days, we have limited time. We only had an hour yesterday, hour today. So I wanted to give enough to everyone so they at least experience a little bit and feel like they've gotten some help, some clarity from the content. But 2 days cannot compare to 4 months of a deeper immersion in these concepts and in this work. So, and especially when you are speaking to a diverse audience, you have to stick to the more basic fundamentals. But in the program itself, we go deeper. We go deeper than what I've shared with you today. Today, at least, I just, over the 2 days, I wanted to share at least enough that resonates and that helps as broad an audience as possible.
Okay, so my final question. See, now we are now in August. This starts in September. It'll go on till October. October is Dussehra. In Dussehra, the kids are home. I mean, my daughter is home. And anyway, because I'm in this transformational journey for myself, I have, cheated her on my time. So at least in Dussehra, I don't want to do that. And I want to, I've already signed up for a few courses, but I want to keep time open for her. I want to travel with her. So I'm just thinking, if there's I really want to do your program. And like I said, because the ecology bit is so close to my heart, and no Indian speaker really covers it. So it's, it's something I really miss out. And I can't tell you how passionate I am about it. If you're talking about it, I'd love to be a part of it. So if you can tell me when the next batch is happening so that you can email it to me so that I can at least, work around it and I can, make space for it.
Sure, we can do that. In terms of the timeline of the program, it is September, October. Yes, September, October, and then we are going to or rather the bulk of the month will be October and November because September end is when this starts. December we're taking off because it's holiday time, and then it's January and February, and in October we can share the dates with any of you who are interested. We steer away from sorry, just excuse me 1 second.
Kajal, the details of the dates are available on the website, so you can take a look and let us know. I mean, we can always connect offline and discuss more on the scheduling part. I'd also like to give the others a chance to ask their questions.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Nina, you want to go ahead?
Oops, sorry. Yeah. Hi, sorry, I'm popping in again. I asked a question yesterday as well, but while doing the what if exercise, I'd listed about 4 or 5 things, and one of them, and when you said what are you most excited about, it was, it was not just my business, but there was this other one, and it was about traveling 6 weeks a year. And then there was all this guilt, and is this frivolous, or is this, I mean, where is this coming? There was all these emotions that came up, and I don't know. I somewhere I feel, okay, this should be about my work, and that's true. It is. I mean, this is about my work. But here's this part of me that feels so alive when I travel and the freedom of it. But I've got 2 small kids, and I just want to know what you think about, because there's, I want to travel 6 weeks a month, and I want to make that happen if possible. In some corner, it doesn't have to be the first priority. But like I said, there were all these emotions coming out. It's frivolous, it's this, it's that, it shouldn't be on the top of your list. And I just wanted to hear from you on that.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, my first reaction is I love it. And we have to honor our desires, because that judgment is the conditioned voice, that judgment of, oh, but really should you want to go travel for 6 weeks? I mean, shouldn't you be working? Shouldn't you? All the shoulds, any should is coming from conditioning. And so we want to be very, very mindful of that conditioned critical voice that gets in our way. I think, I mean, my always instinctive response to a desire is we want to honor it. There's a part of you that wants it, and if you ignore it, it will come back. It'll keep coming back. You will feel that twinge of regret for not making time and space for what your heart truly wants. And in terms of, I mean, again, you want to be open to all possibilities, so you never know how that travel integrates also with your work. I mean, there are people who are called these nomadic entrepreneurs, who will travel around the world and work from their laptop from anywhere, or who will take their clients on retreats. So there's so many ways of also integrating travel with work. So my short response to you would be, please honor that desire. Do not ignore it. Don't let that should conditioned voice talk you down, and stay open to all possibilities. And you never know how ways in which you can absolutely bring it to life and even integrate it with your work if that's what you want later on. Yeah.
Okay, super. Thank you. Thanks.
Sure. We have, I think Nikita had raised her hand, I believe. Nikita, would you still want to ask?
Yeah, Nikita had raised a hand.
Hey, thanks for giving me the opportunity to unmute. I was trying to unmute for a while. So I think I am coming back on a question to you from yesterday's session as well. So Bhavna, thanks. I think this has been more clear than yesterday, but I just wanted to reflect back on one of the questions, one of the pointers that I had yesterday, the trio. I think I did a little bit of retro post the day ended yesterday, that how did it go, what did I learn, can I do this and stuff. So I just wanted to actually speak to someone from your team, maybe if I can say that, little pour of heart that
Yeah.
before getting into this, because I have my own bit of inhibitions, if I may use the word, or I'm feeling a little inconfident of picking it up for my personal scenarios, if I may be honest with you. There are some certain personal things that are there in my bucket which needs to be prioritized. I'm not too sure whether it is definitely going to affect this program. I can't take it up because on the inner side I am feeling confident, but at the other side I'm just willing to be more cautious in taking a decision to invest in this whole thing.
Sure.
So will it be possible for me to
Absolutely.
talk to someone before I, yeah.
Yes, Nikita, we will reach out to you. We'll set up some time with you, and absolutely, we'll have a deeper discussion with you. And it's absolutely normal to feel that sense of caution as well. I feel it every single time as well when I am when I continue to enroll in all kinds of programs and all kinds of courses, and I'm on this continuous learning journey, and I still experience that moment of caution of should I not. So I hear you. I completely hear you. Let us speak to you offline and answer any questions, anything you would like us to clarify. We can do that, and then you can make a decision after that.
Yeah, I think I've learned being a bit conscious more than what I was. So the 2 days has helped me think through better.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you,
look
Nikita.
forward.
Thank you, Nikita.
Yeah.
And Pallavi, I just want to answer your question in the chat. Lovely question. Absolutely. This is a community you are going to be a part of for life, and we are actively as I speak today, we are actively thinking of creating, masterminding a way of an ongoing journey for anyone who goes through this program. You are, of course, all connected, and we stay in touch with you. And many of our alums keep coming back for some of our other community initiatives that we keep offering. But we are actively, as we speak, masterminding a more sustainable way to keep, even after the program, keep supporting this community through all of the what ifs that you have, because I know several of you have are you're visionaries, you're dreamers, you have more than one what if, and we do want to support you with all of them. So more information on that we'll definitely share very soon. But absolutely, you will be a part of the alumni community for life, and we stay in touch with you and keep checking in with our alums on an ongoing basis, so we don't forget about our alums. Yes, we will. There are multiple ways in which we continue to support you. Yes, thank you. And Ayodhya, yes, I did hear from our website developer that he was having an issue with the online. He's still, I think there's something on the back end that he has to do to kind of make that operational. So that will be operational in I think it may just take him one more business day to fix that. So we can let you know, because I heard you mention you want to pay online, so we'll get that fixed and working for you very soon, the USD payment option. More questions? More questions? Any questions? Have I missed, Shriki, have I missed any question?
I think there was one from Saloni. Wanted to ask, how do we decide upon the 21 habits or the list of habits we want to get better at? Do we have a framework for that?
Okay, let me answer this in a simple way for now, because Saloni, to be honest, I did not begin with 21 habits. I wish, actually, I don't wish, because that would have been overwhelming. That would have been overwhelming. Here is what I would say to each and every one of you: begin with one what is called keystone habit. Keystone habit. What is a keystone habit? A keystone habit is a habit that if you adopt that habit and you get consistent with that habit, it has the maximum power of creating a ripple effect onto other aspects of your life and how you show up. For example, for me, a keystone habit was meditation. Then my next keystone habit was waking up earlier, let me say, in the morning. It took me a while to finally get to into the habit of consistently waking up at a certain time, because just that one habit of, for example, meditation, helped me be in a calm state. Being in a calm state helped me, just allowed me to perform better throughout the day. Performing better allowed me to be more successful. Being more successful allowed me to then create more success on top of that, and so forth. So one habit that created this ripple effect. Same thing with waking up earlier. For me, that was, sorry, 1 second. My son is in the room and listening on loud volume. Yes, so waking up earlier meant I then had that time and space just to myself, which meant I could fill my own cup with activities that I enjoy, whether it was journaling, reading, listening to something inspirational. It didn't matter, but that just that one thing for me, I found made such a difference. And then it had that keystone habit. And then, so one by one, I just kept asking, what is that keystone habit that's going to now keep creating this bigger ripple? So I built my habits one by one on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. I did not begin with 21. I began with one, and then I kept stacking them up. All right. Other questions? Sakshi.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi, Bhavna. I asked my question yesterday as well. I have some follow-up questions. So
Yes.
I really like this session. I really want to join the program. And again, from my perspective, what I'm looking is more action orientation. So I have been practicing meditation. I've been practicing yoga. I have tried to at least be more self-aware, and I've seen that happening in myself for the past 20 years. I've improved on that a lot. So I think my question again is similar to someone else who asked as well. How do I get it to be a bit more customized so that I can get the maximum out of the sessions? So, for example, some of the content, because of course you need to start from the very basics to take it to the level when you want to finish it. Some of that might be things that I'm already doing. So how would you suggest that I take the session up for my maximum benefit? Because that's the only challenge that I'm feeling while signing up. Like that's the only thing that's stopping me, whether I'll be getting the 100% out of it or not. That's what I'm getting confused at, because I feel I follow a lot of things. So how do I make the best use of these sessions and not feel that let's say I'm taking the benefit of the 50% and not being able to take the maximum benefit, if that was
Yes.
clear.
Yes. So there are two ways I can answer that. One is a lot of the, I mean, this is a very, so like I mentioned, there are two pillars of this program. One is reflection, one is action. The reflection piece is where we get you to think more deeply about what you want to accomplish, what are all the ways in which you want to show up. And so we do facilitate that journey of reflection, which is what I tried to do a little bit, just give you a taste of it yesterday and today. So one is that journey of reflection. And there, with the questions that we're posing, you answer based on how you want to, it's really up to you how you fill that blank slate. So it's not directive. We don't tell you how to think, we don't tell you what to do, but we do facilitate that reflection so that you can decide for yourself, all right, this is what I want, this is what I want to go after, this is what I want to pursue. So that's the reflection piece. Then the action piece. Then in the action piece, whether it's through your group coaching, whether it's through the mentors that you would be working with, then you decide what are you going to take further action on based on what is more important to you. And then everybody around you is supporting you with what you have decided you want to go deeper on. So how you customize it is entirely up to you. And everybody around you is there to support you go to whatever extent you want to go to. So there's nothing in the program that's directive or general in that sense. We facilitate that reflection. We help you facilitate that journey of reflection for you. And then you take action and we support you in taking that action over the course of the journey. So that's how it's designed. I hope that answers your questions, Sakshi. You're on. I'm not sure if you're saying something because you're on mute. Okay. Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you for that. Yes, it does answer my question. And there's another thing, like let's say you have 2 or 3 things that you want to work on together.
Yes.
Like, what if it's not one particular area that I want to concentrate on? There are 2 to 3 things that I want to experiment with. How does, so for example, some things are like there's mentoring with the industry experts. So how does that work then when there are 2 or 3 different ideas that I want to approach at the same time, want to designate my time in a manner that I try to approach all of these things together? Like, will I have like a personalized, because there are things in my mind, which there are a lot of things in my mind which I want to work upon. So at this moment, it's a bit difficult for me to choose one thing and think about particular things. I know even the inner reflection would help crystallize some of these, but there could still be 2 or 3 things that I still feel I would want to pursue. So how would you suggest then approach the program in that case?
So absolutely, you can explore more than one idea. For example, like the main action piece of this program, which is where we ask you to design an initiative of your choosing that you want to take action on. You will first explore, do an exploration of, okay, what are the things I want to work on? And then after exploring all of those ideas, whether it's with your small group, whether with your coach or the mentor, then you after having explored several ideas, you for yourself, okay, given in this time right now, what is most important for me that I want to make progress on? Doesn't mean you completely give up on the second thing and the third thing. It's just you're choosing to prioritize one thing above the others. You make significant progress on that one thing, and that with whatever time and energy you have left, of course, make space for that second thing and that third thing, which you can then stack later on as well. But for us to really see significant progress and significant results, at least my experience has been, we do want to prioritize and focus and begin with giving our energy and attention to one thing, and then beginning with the second thing and the third thing. Of course, you can create results in multiple areas, but I would say do that exploration, absolutely. And then once you have greater clarity, prioritize, begin with one, and then move on to the others as well. And of course, you can do, doesn't always have to be sequential. Once you're making significant progress on one, you can absolutely simultaneously stack on the second thing with that time and energy and space that you have left. So it can be simultaneous as well. But first, that prioritization though is very, very important, especially if you want to make significant progress with any goal. Hope that answers your question.
So I added the link, Calendly link in the chat. So if anybody wants to get in touch, you can book a call with us.
Yeah, so Pooja is our senior leadership coach on the team. Yeah, she will happily speak to any of you. So thanks, Shri, for sharing that link. Please go ahead and have a conversation with her. She'd love to answer any questions and tell you more.
All
All
right.
right, other questions? Other questions? Do we have more questions? More questions? Going once, going twice? Okay, one more. Yeah, Sakshi, please go ahead.
1 second.
Hi, sorry. Yes, another question that's been on my mind. So as I mentioned yesterday, I've taken a break from an active job life, and I'm starting to explore things. One of the things that is there on my mind is family planning. I am trying to focus on my health, get a bit better, and hoping to then start planning a bit more on that side as well. And this is what conflicts me the most when I also am exploring different ideas. Like while exploring it, always is there in the back of my mind that I need to look for ideas that gives me sufficient time and space for this other important aspect of my life as well. So, are there any suggestions from your own experience? I see you have kids, and I see you've gone through that entire journey of exploring, went through a very tough phase of exploring so many different things while you were experimenting. So, any suggestions on that based on your experience?
On how to balance that goal with other goals that you have? Is that the
Yeah,
question?
like should that be postponed a bit, or do you still think that it's possible to manage both, especially when you are in that stage when you are starting to plan actually both of these, and not one is going, like it's actually starting both of these together.
Yeah. Look, I can definitely speak from my own experience, and I think this is something so personal. It's definitely for each woman to decide for herself. Having said that, sure, I can tell you from my own experience. It coincided in a very interesting way, because the moment I launched Sheronomics, I found out that I'm expecting. So it was about creating two babies, bringing two babies in the world at the same time, and I think I definitely did allow myself to go at my own pace at that time. In the first years, 2 years, when my son was very, very young, I was very gradually working on building up Shinomics. So I did, I did, modulate my pace. But having said that, for me, and again, this is so personal. For me, as important as it is to be a mother and play those roles in my personal life, my work is also such an integral part of me. I mean, it's such a big part of my identity. So I never let go of it. I reduced my pace, but I was always still at the same time. I continued to keep that flame burning somehow. I had these two burners, that were burning at the same time. But it's just, yes, absolutely. And that would be my encouragement for everyone. You have to decide for yourself what is most important to you. And sometimes it means it means, like I said, prioritizing one thing more than others, or giving one thing more attention and weight than others. And so I did do that, but it's just that I did definitely kept that Shinomics flame burning as well, because it means so much to me. It was so yeah. So I was doing both simultaneously. But it's absolutely for you, I think, to decide what's how you want to approach it. And no right or wrong answers here, honestly. I've seen women do this in all kinds of ways. Some will take that time off and completely focus on motherhood. Others will do both. Others will, again, no right or wrong answer. I hope when I mean, especially in this program, we do help you really think more deeply about your values and what is most important to you. And when you approach any decision in your life through the lens of those values, it starts to become clear what you could be doing, what you could be giving more time and attention to, that is most fulfilling and meaningful to you. So that's how
Thanks.
I would answer that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I completely relate. Like, I can't let go of the idea of not working for something that gives me that satisfaction. So I can't lose that identity completely as well. And that's the greatest. And that is the reason actually I left my job, because I want to create something that I can follow separately. I can always keep that alive while I'm focusing on my health. But there's always this question whether you still need to give a lot of time, whether it's the right thing to do, whether you should be focusing on two things, with both of which are very big, at least in the initial stage.
Yeah.
So that is why that question, whether, but I get it. It's very personal.
Just one last thing I would say, Sakshi, similar to, I think this word came up in a previous question as well. Just I would encourage you to be very mindful of this word should, because a lot of the shoulds that we have in our mind, they do come from conditioning, from cultural conditioning, and they don't allow us to make an authentic choice. So, what should I be doing? Should I be doing both? Should I be, there's a little bit of a judgment there, and that judgment is coming from that conditioning. We're conditioned to think, sometimes, one line of conditioning is no, yes, when you're a mother, give everything to that, and to above everything else. And so I would, that would be my final thing I say to you, is just become very mindful of those shoulds that you are sensing in your mind, and instead ask, okay, what do I want? Forget everybody else and forget the cultural narratives. What do I want? What is going to be most meaningful to me? And you will find a way to make space for all the things that are meaningful to you. You just have to trust that you will.
Thank you, Bhavna. It's a lot.
All right.
I think we can close. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there are any other questions. Oh, Devalina has a question. Okay. But Devalina, we will stay back.
Hey, hi, Bhavna. Hi, everyone. I just had a question on, like, based on this, from the core values we possess, how do we actually, get to realize the, personal brand? So that's where I just want to, understand, like, how can we, I mean, even from the, what you just mentioned, from the universe of abundance, how can we actually, get to know what is, from, and also from the core values we have. I'm just trying, I'm a little like, still figuring out how to get that. So any tips would help,
Mm.
probably.
Mm. So I think that would be, I would pose this question back to you, Devalina, in terms of what if I was to ask you, what are your core, what's most important to you? What are some of the values that, come top of mind? What would you say those are?
Yeah. So core values would be like, I am very helpful, and also like would love to give back to the community or something in some ways. But still, I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, I'm not able to. In fact, even after retrospecting, I just get lost in that. So that, I need, I want to focus on particular aspects which will help me in developing on the personal branding. And then, as you also saw, that I'm actually, I need to, I want to, basically, I will become the best TEDx speaker, so that, I can give back to community on certain, some topic, or I haven't real, I mean, figured out what, but yes. So that's where I'm coming from. I need to recognize those skills, or from what I can, develop those. So that's, I hope I made some sense to the question.
Yeah, sure, of course. So, I think specifically if your question is around brand, I mean, and again, with branding, it is a little bit of understanding various dimensions of yourself. Values is one. You also want to understand, what are you passionate or at least curious about? Because then that will in this part of you that wants to help the community,
Yeah.
that wants to give back. Which
Yeah.
community, and you want to help them with what, right? So these are questions you would
Right.
want to answer for yourself. These are the kinds of questions we typically ask when we help women figure out what their brand would be about, because our brand is at the intersection of all of these various dimensions that make us who we are. Our values, our curiosities, our passions, the unique ways in which we want to make a contribution, and your brand is at the intersection of that. So I mean, for you, Devalina, that's what you would want to ask. What, how do what how do I want to show up? Okay, I know I want to help others. Okay, what do I want to help others with? Who specifically do I want to help? And how am I going to help them also? Right. And so when you answer these questions, and then you get clarity around that, you will start to understand how you can then, whatever comes to you from answering those questions, how you can then start doing more of that, because branding is just about making who we are visible to the world. That's all it is. It's understanding who we are and then making it visible. So for example, for me, living consciously and sustainably is important to me. And it comes through in my personal brand because I visibly have made it a part of my visible brand. I wear sustainable clothing, upcycled clothing. So it's part of my brand. But it began with me asking, what is important to me,
Right.
what am I excited about, and then it comes through in my brand. Same thing with things like mindfulness, things
Mhm.
or living and leading consciously. Same thing with, okay, who do I want to help? I know I want to help women. So it's about
Yeah.
asking yourself a bunch of these questions to get more clarity around who you are. And then branding is just about making all of that visible to the world.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, then I think my thought process needs to be a little bit more focused, as you just said. Yeah. So thank you so much, Bhavna, for this
Thank you.
insight. Yeah. Thanks.
All
It
right.
was really a wonderful session. Just
Thank
wanted to
you.
quote
Thank you
that.
so much.
Yeah.
All right. I think with that, we can bring this to a close. So thank you everyone for staying till the very end. All 10, 12 of you who stayed till the very end. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And once again, if you'd like to speak to us, there is a link, Calendly link in the chat. Please do go ahead and book some time. You can also email us. Any one of us on the team would be happy to speak to you and tell you more about the program. And we'd love to see you all inside of the program. So, but even if we don't, wish you all the very best and hope you're taking away lots of good learnings for yourself from these 2 days. Take care, everyone. Wish you all the best.
Mhm.